You're listening to the Epically Geeky Show, a place for all things geeky.
Welcome out to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 89. I had to look that up for a second. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight's opening question is, what is the best part of mini golf? A, just playing mini golf itself. B, eating at the snack bar. C, playing games in the arcade. Or D, I hate mini golf. Lainey?
D, I hate mini golf.
As we were talking about in the pre-show, she's like, maybe this wasn't the best subject for me. Is there any particular reason why?
I just have never enjoyed it. Like, every time I've gone to play mini golf, it's always been either as a child at a daycare or like a day camp or something during the summer where I'm with a bunch of other kids and I can't fucking play and it sucks. Or as a camp counselor supervising children playing mini golf, which also sucks. So maybe it's because I've never been to a mini golf course and like had fun. I feel like if I got really drunk and went and played, it would be super fun. But fucking, I don't know how I didn't go to one when I lived in Orlando. They're fucking everywhere.
That's interesting. Yeah, Christy says they used to have a few drinks and then go to the putt there in Tyler and had fun. Yep. So, which I've, not that I've done many things drunk, but I guess mini golf would be kind of fun to do that.
I would play golf a little schnockered. That would be fun.
A little schnockered.
It is fun drunk. Batting cages on the other hand.
Oh no.
Batting cage sober. I'll break my nose.
No, sometimes you get a little tipsy and you lean a little too far into the ball, and those some bitches hurt.
Yeah, I bet. Jay, what's the best part of mini golf? Mini golf, eating at the snack bar, playing games in the arcade, or you hate mini golf?
I really enjoy mini golf. It really is more, which course you're at. Some of them have awesome arcades, which are more fun than the mini golf themselves. But I've been to some pretty big mini golf courses that, were pretty damn awesome. But I'll still go with the arcade. You can't go wrong with good arcade games.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have to kind of agree with that. Lainey and I were talking before the show, and the putt-putt that was here growing up had a really awesome arcade, and we'd go to Super Saturday. It was $5, and it was like unlimited mini golf from 10 to 2. But I didn't always play it. I spent a lot of time in that arcade, so yeah. I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat room, and I was like, what the? Oh, they're saying, Lainey, you should play mini golf with Cyrus drunk, and then we could record it for the site.
That would I might hit him. I love him, but I might hit him.
With the club or with your fist?
With both.
Okay.
I love Cy. He's my sweet little baby angel, but I might hit him.
No, yeah, probably so. Yeah, eventually my competitive side would come out, and I'd be like, "Fucking focus, Cyrus."
Yeah, I'm not even competitive. He would just say something stupid, and then I would have to hit him. Like I would have to.
Just reflexively.
Yeah, just like, oh, I'm sorry. Or like, we got to do this now.
Well, the reason why I brought up mini golf is I got the idea the other day that the mini golf course that we had here, it had 3 courses. One was just like kind of a pretty standard mini golf course. The second one actually had overhangs over it, so you could actually play like when it was super hot, or you could play, even if it was kind of raining or whatever. And then the third one is the one where they kind of went all out for. So it had like little bridges over water. It had this big cave thing built in, and like some of the courses like went up and around the mountain or whatever that was on. So that was kind of the really cool one, and that's of course the one that I always wanted to play on. So I got the idea, what if we came up with our own courses for a mini golf. So we're going to do 18 holes. We divided up 6-piece, and it's going to be based on different pop culture things. So that was the task for this evening. I'm going to go ahead and go first. Should we say what we based ours on and then get to them, or should we just pull them out one at a time?
Pull them out one at a time.
All right. Okay. So I also was going to ask that we kind of like, depending on how hard you think it is, maybe like, kind of shift that so it's later on. But don't worry about that. I'm just going to read mine is on the list. So
I'm bad at that part. I'm like, I don't know. It goes around a thing and then I don't know.
The first one that was on my list, surprise, surprise. I chose Transformers, from the 80s. And so I specifically based it on the final episode 13 of the first season, which is called Heavy Metal War, which is when they introduced the Constructicons. So basically on the golf course, you've got the course, and then on one side I wanted to have decent size, not like necessarily toys, but probably a little bit bigger than what the original toys were. You're going to have all the different Autobots set up. And then on the other hand, you're going to have all the Decepticons. And then on the, like there's a lot of, usually there's like those concrete, like not necessarily pillars, but they might be shaped different ways, things you have to kind of put around or whatever. Oh. There's going to be 5 of those on the course. And on each one, there's going to be one of the Dinobots. And then at the back of the course, behind the actual hole, you're going to have Devastator. So what I was thinking was, on the course, once you get it all the way down to the end there, and you get it in, it may play some sound or whatever and have some lights and everything. But if you can make it in a hole in one, it will actually cause there'll be like a fake lava stream behind him, but he'll actually like come apart and fall into the lava like he did in the cartoon. I think that would be awesome for a hole in one. So that was my idea for my first hole, was based on original Transformers. We were going to do him being destroyed and falling into the lava. So, Lainey, what is your first hole?
So the first hole that I came up with was a Stranger Things themed hole.
Oh yes, and I was like, that's a excellent pull.
Right? I thought that would be kind of fun because I figured everybody would think, oh, she's going to go full Disney. Well, you're wrong.
Could have happened, but she didn't.
I could have. I totally could have. Are you kidding? I could have a whole 90s Disney movie themed golf course. Okay. And it would be fucking awesome. But I chose Stranger Things. So also that's just a really fucking great movie. And can you imagine like a Stranger Things themed golf course? You could sell like really cool, like old school snacks and fucking like new Coke and shit.
Oh my God. I was thinking just like, oh my God. My first thing that I went to was just the course, like maybe the back 9 would be in the upside down. So like, yes. The shit and stuff. Okay. So I don't want to steal any of your thunder. Go on.
No, but that's kind of what, like, that's the thing is every time I thought of one of these, I was like, but I want to do the whole course though. Like I want to go through the whole thing. So my idea for a Stranger Things, like just the themed one specific hole would be, okay. So I like the idea of like an indoor-outdoor mini golf course.
Okay.
Because I've seen it done, again, in Orlando, like the fucking mini golf courses are crazy. There's like volcanoes and shit. It's ridiculous.
Right.
So there's a lot of indoor-outdoor stuff. So I like the idea of, for this one, you kind of have to like go maybe down into a tunnel, something like that. But you walk into the buyer's house, essentially. Mm-hmm. And it's when it's like full, like she's gone fucking nuts. She can't find Will. There's the lights up on the wall and everything with the letters, and there's papers and shit everywhere. And it's all crazy.
Nice.
And, yeah, right. And like the lights are like flickering, and meanwhile you have to have like the 80s like synth horror music playing in the background.
Right.
I want to set a scene. Okay. So like the obstacles are going to be like all the crazy shit that's in the house. Like you have to like putt like around the fucking baseball bat with the nails in it, around like the coffee table, around the couch and all that kind of stuff. And you can like hear like the Demigorgon kind of like in the distance. So if you make the hole, then the Demigorgon starts to like push like out of the wall
Nice.
It like sets off the mechanism and it like starts to like move behind the wall as like the lights are going
Right.
and like flashing run. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, that's my first one. I thought that would be super fucking fun.
That would be awesome, actually.
I would putt in that course. That would be fun. So, but yeah, I just also really fucking love that scene. I like the vibe that Stranger Things gives you, and I think it lends itself to something like that.
Yeah, I think so too. Right to each course. Ryan in the chat says ride BMX bikes to each course. So
yes. Oh yeah, you have to ride them standing up with like the fucking walkie-talkies.
Hell yeah, man! That would be awesome.
That's one thing I loved about that movie is they did that thing that like me and my friends always did where like if you're riding your bike and you're really fucking serious about where you're going to go, you're not sitting on that seat.
That's right. You stand up and do that power pedaling.
You know a child means business. They're standing up on their bike.
I got shit to do and I got to get there now.
To go. I'm on my way. I love that.
That's a good hole. That's a good first hole from you. Jay, what was the first hole that you had?
I went with the Avengers.
Okay.
I didn't incorporate them all,
which is fine.
Yeah, there's just way too many. I didn't have that much ideas. But no, I figured, I don't know. I was just thinking of incorporating something with the Iron Man to where you could hit the ball, try to make it into like something something he's carrying. And it would actually take off like on a zip line and take the ball down, maybe to a little bit of a lower level, like kind of shoot it down like he's flying in.
Right.
And drop the ball, and maybe, have to hook a little corner. And it's, cool. I was kind of thinking a mixture of like pinball and fucking,
and that's perfectly acceptable.
Putt in my head. But I figured, once you got through the Iron Man part of it, of course on each side you might see some like battling Chitauri and fucking a Hawkeye and Black Widow on the sides, just maybe light up shit to keep it interesting. But once you get around to the next part, you actually have to like cup it in this little hole, and there's Thor with his hammer. And just fucking clubs it, kind of like just like a golf hit. Just fucking clubs it and shoots it down. And if you get it just right, if you get him to hit it just right, it will shoot it down to where the main hole is for the shot, which is just the Hulk. So whenever it hits, you don't really see the hole where it's supposed to go, where the ball's supposed to go. It just kind of leaves this little divot, and then Hulk smashes. Clubs his hands down and actually shoves the ball knocks the ball into the hole.
That's cool.
I like the idea of doing several levels.
Well, it's like when you get towards the end of a course and then it fucking gets baller.
Yeah.
Well, there's a putt course that I took my son to, and it's just called like Ben and Aries or something like that. But they have multiple holes that are multiple layers, and one is actually like a lot of them incorporate like the water, like they have this big water fountain. And you can hit it, and depending on which part you hit it into, it could float it down to your actual hole, and like you might get lucky, get a hole in one. If you fucking mishit it, it's going to take it back all the way to the first hole.
Ooh.
So that sounds awesome. See, that's the type of mini courses I'd like to actually play on. Like that'd be interesting as hell.
And they have one, and I really loved it, and that's kind of. I try to think of maybe an idea for Tony Stark, Iron Man at first, but they have a ramp there, and you got to hit the ball and ramp it over this flowing waterfall and make it into. So if you overhit it, it's going to go right off the other green into the water. If you underhit it, it's going to fall right into the flowing water. I thought about just having Iron Man right there, and that's whenever he'd take off and like over the water, then zip it on down. But
no, I like your first idea.
I was playing with multiple things in my melon.
Sounds good to me. No, I wouldn't. When you said you were going to do the Avengers, I was like, okay, I can definitely see you doing something cool with that one. So, for hole number 4, this one would be mine. Surprise, surprise, Ghostbusters. So I was trying to figure, and I specifically went with the first movie, and I was trying to figure out what angle I wanted to go with this. A lot of the ones I came up with have to do with some kind of a giant, like, character or whatever there. So I was like, okay, let me, yeah, I was like trying to figure out exactly, because I didn't want them all have like just some kind of giant character you had to kind of get around or whatever. But, so at first I was thinking about doing something, with Stay Puft. So you have to like, knock the ball into, essentially what would be the hotel, like the entrance of the apartment complex, and Stay Puft's down there or whatever. But that's not what I went with. So what I went with was it's going to look kind of like the ballroom, and on one side you're going to have Peter, and the other side you're going to have Egon, and you're going to have Ray back behind it, and you're going to have Slimer in the center. And there's 3 switches you have to activate. You have to hit the ball and bounce off all 3 of them. But once you activate the switches, they're held up, by the stream or whatever, but that's what actually activates the light in the stream, and they slowly start to pull Slimer down. And it's at that point when the trap opens in the bottom, and that's where the actual hole is you have to put into.
Cool.
So that was my thought on that one. Like I said, originally I was going to go something because I was like, I can have it where you hit the ball in and like some kind of flame shoots up, from Stay Puft, like it's going up the building. And I was like, no, I've got a lot of the stuff that's got giant people on it. I was like, oh no, let's hit the ball into a trap, because that would be the shit. So, that was my idea for doing a Ghostbusters. At least Ghostbusters 1 hole. So, Lainey, what's your next one?
Okay, so I will dip into one of the Disney ones that I came up with. So I came up with 3. So I said something earlier about at Disney World they have a Fantasia themed golf course. Mm-hmm. Which is really cool. Well, not golf course, but like mini golf course. It is actually really cool. It's really cool the way that they designed it. I think that it's a little lacking because it is Disney, and I feel like they could have done more as far as like technology is concerned, but whatever. I'm not Bob Iger. So I took this idea and kind of ran with it. So like one of the most famous scenes from Fantasia is Night on Bald Mountain.
Yes.
It's been terrifying to children for years. Fucking great too. It's so good. But my idea was, again, this would be like an indoor outdoor course, because you would need the ambiance. It needs to be kind of dark, otherwise it's not gonna work.
Right. So you
kind of maybe like come around a corner and you're gonna come into like kind of like a lair, and it's gonna look, you're gonna see like the actual mountain. And so it's kind of like you said, Eugene, where you have to like hit it multiple times. Mm-hmm. So first you've got to get it into the actual hole at the base. It's going to look like a little town basically.
Okay.
And so you're going to hit it like through the little town. And once it goes into the little thing, like Chernabog is going to come out of the mountain basically. Like it's going to set off a thing. So like Chernabog's going to come out and like do the thing where he like spreads his wings, and it's fucking awesome.
Right.
And the music will start and the lights will kind of dim. And then like you'll see like the projections of like the skeletons and shit and all the demons and stuff like flying up, like
nice
fucking room, right?
Yeah.
Epic. And you're not paying attention or playing mini golf. You're just looking at what's happening. So, but then you've got to like hit it again, and it has to like kind of like come around. My whole thought was like, since it's like a mountain, it would kind of have to like go back behind the town and like come back around the mountain and come like, I don't know what that's called. I don't fucking know mini golf.
I don't either. Just describe it like it is.
Loop. I don't know. It has to like go kind of, you have to like hit it at an angle this time. It has to kind of go around and then come back down, and you got to make like a hole in one. So, and then you can go to the next hole. But I just really like the idea of fucking Chernabog coming out of the mountain.
That would be awesome, actually. Yeah.
That used to be a thing in a parade when I was a kid. They don't do it anymore. And I need more children to be afraid of Chernabog, because that's important.
Yeah, that was probably all. That was, I mean, Fantasia was just okay to me. But yeah, that was definitely my favorite part was that. I was like, ooh, that is cool.
Love Fantasia. Absolutely love Fantasia, because I'm a dork. That's Parker's favorite Disney movie.
Really?
Yeah, when he came to see me in Florida, that was his one thing. I asked him, I was like, "Do you want to meet a character? Are you down to meet a character?" And he's like, "I mean, it'd be cool to meet like Mickey from Fantasia, but I'm sure that's not a thing." I was like, "Well, actually, it is. Let's make this happen right now." And he regretted every second of it. Like, why did I tell you anything? Why did I say that? That was horrible. That was so stupid. Of course you found that. Of course you knew that, that was a thing. I was like,
of course, yeah.
Fucking work here, dude.
That's funny. Jay, what's your next one?
Okay, so I was thinking of Game of Thrones.
Oh God.
Okay.
No, I didn't get into any of the sex stuff or really any of the violence either. It's pretty much just
Left.
Yeah, there's not
the
much
intro.
left
So
that.
basically, you're putting through the intro.
Yeah, pretty much. You're just hitting the golf ball, then you're watching it go across the map.
Yeah.
Then it's pretty much over.
Actually, you know what? You say that seeing a actual visualized miniature of the map would actually be pretty fucking awesome. I'm not even going to downplay that.
Like all of the shit like starts popping up. That would be fucking
Holy
cool.
shit! Actually, yeah, that would.
That would be fucking awesome.
No, what I was thinking about, just when you hit it right down the main stretch, right at the curve, you get one of Daenerys' dragons. And it goes down the tail, right down the... It looks like it goes down the tail, but it's actually going inside of him, then comes out the mouth, out the fire.
Okay.
So it looks like there's fire coming out and it comes right out there.
Cool.
And there wasn't a lot that I could think of after that, but I've been short on time. But no, after that, of course we'd have to incorporate probably one of the other dragons. But then, after it comes out of the dragon's mouth, it could go down and kind of fall into the executioner's basket, like Ned Stark's head.
There it is.
Just kind of fall in there, and then be dumped down, go down to another level.
Uh-huh.
And, maybe get on a little carriage that goes down, or the stretch that could go down could be the King's Road.
Oh my God.
And have dire wolves, maybe something to make it challenging, have a dire wolf on a little track, shoot across, try to knock the ball out of the way. Just real random things that pop up and maybe get in the way to make it a little challenging. But yeah, once you get a little closer to the end of the hole, you got wildlings on each side. And giants and everything else. Maybe occasionally the giants on the side kind of reach down and try to knock the ball out of the way as you try to hit it or while you advance to it. But I don't know why, but for some reason I thought of the little oh motherfucker, god damn it. The little fucking basket that they use to go all the way to the top of the wall. And you hit the ball
I
in
know
there.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
You hit it when you hit it in there, it takes it all the way up to the top. And then just pretty much once it gets up to the very top, it just rolls out the back and then rolls into Danny's and why am I blanking on it?
I don't know.
Her actual home, where all the dragon glass and everything else is at, and I'm blanking on the fucking name.
Daenerys, Stormborn. Oh God.
I know it's the House of Targaryen, but because they had the dragons right there at the front when you're getting ready to go to the steps, and Valeria, I think.
We'll go with that. I don't know, and apparently y'all are both blanking.
Epic.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. And that was just quick off the top of my head, trying to fucking piece things together at lunch today.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
I did too.
I like the opening with the dragon, though. That's fucking awesome. Having it come out and actually blow fire. That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
And, I honestly thought about at one time having it, go down, kind of have them, descending, they're flying and maybe descending out of the air, one right after another, so it just rolls down all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then out the front, out of the fire on the front. But
Hell,
I
that
don't
would
know.
be awesome just to like get from like one like fairly tall level to. I mean, because it doesn't have to be necessarily hard. It could be fairly easy. You just basically get it, and it kind of goes down this winding track, but it looks like it's going from dragon to dragon. That would still be fucking awesome.
That would be really cool.
But yeah, that's all I could come up with.
I like that. I like a Game of Thrones themed golf course. Putt course. Mini golf, whatever.
There's probably one out there somewhere.
As much stuff is popping up for it, yeah, probably. Of course, I still kind of like our original idea of you're putting over the map and all the shit, like, winds up and everything would be awesome.
That's genius.
All right, I had the next hole. This one, I went with the Goonies because I was like,
nerd.
I was thinking, I need something that's got like, little stuff that's moving and everything else. So, this one is actually kind of what you were talking about, Jay. This one's actually going to have it's going to have a little bridge that goes over. There's going to be water surrounding this entire hole.
I like the water feature.
Yeah, so you go over the little bridge, and so the sides are going to be decorated kind of like the cave was, so you can have a lot of the stuff that you saw in the cave and everything. And so when you get to the hole, and you're putting to the hole, when you get to the hole and you get it, you put it in, you're gonna have Sloth come off, one of the little mountain things, and swing down to there's behind the hole. You're actually gonna have the pirate ship, and it's gonna, of course, we have to have the audio of "Hey, you guys." So he'll land on the pirate ship, and I figure, once it does that, it can play some audio and kind of do some cool stuff. But once again, if you hit a hole in one, though, the fucking ship's actually going to take off and it's going to make a loop around the hole because, it's the fucking pirate ship. So that's what I went with the Goonies.
Can I just add in, by the way, I used to work with a guy at a daycare, well, not a daycare, but like an after school program thing that I worked for, who once used to like host like story time every day and basically retold the plot of the Goonies to children with him as Mikey.
That's awesome.
I think I started working there on like day 3 of this little thing that he started doing, and I remember listening to him going,
I know this story.
Hold on.
I've never really been a fan of the Goonies. I just
depending on when you saw it, I can see that. Like if you weren't at the right age or in the right mindset, I could see how it would just be okay.
I mean, what year was it? What year did it come out in? 80?
Oh shit.
86 maybe. So I was like 5 or 6.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, shut it. Yeah. But well, no, that's like almost all the people I fucking work with. My son's their age. But no, that's just never one of the movies I know it's got like a huge following of people that just love it, but The Sandlot, fucking Back to the Future. I mean, just never really got into those movies.
You ever like The Sandlot?
No, I've never watched the whole thing all the way through.
Fucking movie. Even as
it
a
is.
Little girl growing up, there's no girls in that movie except Wendy Peppercorn. I fucking lived for that movie. I adored that movie. That movie was me and my friends growing up, just fucking doing whatever we wanted in our neighborhood every summer. It was awesome.
Well, they had them on the news yesterday on the
Today Show. They got them together and had them playing.
Yeah, they're going to come out with the 25th anniversary edition.
Oh God!
Yeah, they had them, and some of those guys look just like they did as a kid.
Yeah. That guy got himself into some trouble with the law not too long ago.
Yeah.
I don't know his name because I never watched the movie. I just know the scene because he showed it. But the guy that jumped over the fence and was like looking dead eye in the fucking dog at the
Jet
dog.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the Jet Rodriguez. It was because that was the one guy that they couldn't get to come to that anniversary thing that they were doing on the Today Show. But no.
Oh, the other kid, the new kid.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I was gonna say who was? I thought it was him, but you're right. It was.
Yeah, that dude's like all fucking jacked up now.
That doesn't surprise me.
I mean, you look at everybody else and they're like, pretty much look identical.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking, or just like fat, out of shape. They've gotten older. This dude is just like, it's like, God damn, dude. Yeah, he's just fucking big as shit. And it's like, at your age, I wonder what you're doing, buddy.
Yeah.
Yikers.
All right, Lainey, what's your next one?
No, I'm just thinking about the Sandlot. How dare you?
Was he the Yaya or whatever you called him? Yeah.
That was the name of the movie. It was Yeah. I don't know his actual name. However, Squints was and forever will be me. I fucking love that kid.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
I love him. He's so cute. Exactly. Oh shit. All right. So I would like to do a Star Wars themed poll.
Okay.
Specifically A New Hope.
Gotcha.
Because I'm lame and I love that movie. My favorite.
That's not lame at all.
So I want to do one, obviously, themed to the Rebel assault on the Death Star.
I figured as much. I had claimed, and I'll probably do that one next. I picked Return of the Jedi, and I immediately thought, well, I don't really want to do anything with the Death Star because I'm sure Lainey's probably going to do something with it. So I specifically stayed away from that. So go ahead.
I appreciate you. I almost did a Tusken Raider themed one just because I want to pop out and go, woo.
That would be awesome.
I really thought about it. I was like, exactly. I thought that would be funny. So, but I decided to do the Rebel assault on the Death Star. And again, apparently I just only do indoor theme courses.
Mm-hmm.
Create an ambiance. They're going to come into a room and I want the whole thing to you can do black lights, I think, in here too. Or just really.
Oh, yeah. No, I've got black lights on one of mine later.
Right. I think just really good lighting would work best. But I want it to kind of look like you're walking into the trench. And I think that the trench kind of lends itself to a lot of obstacles.
Yes.
You have the little grooves and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be you get 3 shots and then you're out, basically.
Oh, okay.
3 chances to get into the exhaust port and then you're out. And while all that's happening, there's going to be Empire shots at you and everything, and you're gonna it's gonna be really distracting. You're gonna hear I want audio. I want you to hear the music. I want you to hear the other pilots Red 24, Red 30, follow the whole. I'm quoting Star Tours. I'm not even quoting A New Hope now. But I want I want the fire to be coming at you and provide an obstacle and everything. You gotta get around, but you get 3 shots to make it into the exhaust port. That's what I want it to be, because I think that would be fucking awesome. Because that made a really great attraction. Why wouldn't that make a really good mini golf course?
I agree.
That'd be so fun.
I agree.
I'd be super down for that. Plus, I will do literally anything just to hear the sound of TIE fighters. I don't know why. I love that sound. Love it.
Jay, what's your next one?
Oh, fuck me. Damn it.
Well, that's not a movie.
No.
I bet you I could find
at one. Least it's not a movie that we're covering. How about that?
Yeah. I'll say I have resources.
Jesus
but
Christ.
No, I was thinking, because we were talking about Star Wars, and I know you guys were all going the old school Star Wars. I had actually thought about going with the Phantom Menace.
Okay.
I know it's a prequel and not a lot of people like it. I like it because my son was very little at the time, and that's really how he got exposed to Star Wars mostly and really got interested. So it kind of holds a little special place.
No, dude, I like the prequels. I don't think they're not the greatest movies in the series, but I like them. If you don't like them, fine. That's you. You do you. But no, I completely understand that, dude.
They were entertaining, at least.
Yes.
And it was something new from Star Wars, and we hadn't seen anything in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was cool with it, and I know that they try to, Just like people say, they try to push toys with Ewoks. Well, and they try to push toys or whatever merchandise with these movies. Okay. You know, I get it, but I still find them entertaining. So that's all I need. But, no, I was thinking, you know, and it's kind of like with the Iron Man and everything else. You can open up the hole with a straight shot trying to knock it into a little pod racer.
Okay.
Anakin's a little pod racer, and it just shoots off and takes it through like a little winding maze. So, you know, it kind of shoots out in front of you. Then it lets the ball roll, and, you know, wherever it lands. But as you're, you know, go take your next shot, there's actually like a Darth Maul figure right in the middle of the course. That's actually animated. So, like, he'll start swinging his blades and everything else. You know, and you don't know which way he's going to swing it or exactly when. It's just real erratic. So you got to try to swing it back in so you don't knock it all the way back to the beginning. But once you get past Darth Maul, and see, that's where I was kind of fucking up yet again. But I didn't really think of anything past that. I got to the Darth Maul part and, you know, to the pod racing, and it's been so long since I was starting to get Clone Wars mixed in with fucking everything else.
Well, if nothing else, behind Darth Maul, once you get past Darth Maul, it could look like, you know, the hole that he gets cut in half into, and that's what you end up having to, you know, put the ball into or whatever.
And that's what I thought about, having it maybe like, it looks like that, but whenever the ball goes down there, it's kind of twisty.
Yeah.
So then it gets like twisted down to a lower level and shoots it out. But, you know, like I said, I was trying to do all this at lunch today, and I could not think of a way to end the hole.
I think that's fine. Just having it go into the hole. If nothing else, you could also have it where once it goes in the hole, maybe the Darth Maul like flips back and falls back into it as well.
Oh my God.
But I was thinking, you know, and I know they're not connected because I fucked up and just took a newer one instead of the older one, but I kind of figured you might be able to like kind of lay out all three Star Wars holes right, you know, back to back to back, or
yeah,
maybe once you hit it down that shaft and it goes down there, it could go to another hole that's completely themed something else. It's kind of like a transition.
Yeah.
So
that works for me, dude.
We're gonna have like a 3-story fucking putt course.
I know, right? It's gonna be awesome. All right, so we're starting on the back 9 at this point. And I'm gonna head and pull up my Star Wars one. I picked Return of the Jedi. And like I said, I stayed away from blowing up Death Star. Well, at least, you know, because I thought, oh, okay, maybe I could do something with, you know, kind of with the Falcon or whatever going into the Death Star, but that's not what I did. So this is going to be an extremely long hole. Like there's going to be quite a bit of distance, right? And it's going to be the Battle of Endor. So you're going to have all these trees on the side, you know, these little miniature trees, and you're going to have some on the course itself. And you're also going to have AT-ATs and ATSTs, you know, on the course as well. But you're going to have to hit the ball with some gusto. But then as it goes down the course, there's also going to be some other accelerators that are going to grab the ball and move it, because we want the ball to be traveling pretty fast down this, you know, extensive course. At the very end, it looks like, you know, it's a miniaturization of the dish. And once you get it into the hole, I was going to have a big video screen behind it, and it cues the clip of Han running out, you know, going, go, 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 go. And then
I like that.
Once he does that, the actual dish, you know, we're going to have, you know, some jets of flame come up and the actual dish crumbles, and then the video screen can play the Death Star blowing up or whatever. So, but yeah, that's what I was like, okay, you know, I've got to stay away from the Death Star, but I could do Endor, and I want this thing to go fucking fast. So I thought that would be fun. Lainey, what's your next one?
My next one. Hold on, I have to check my list because I thought I knew which one I was going to do next, but I didn't. Oh, my next one is going to be a Princess and the Frog themed one.
Okay. I still have not seen this.
No one's going to be familiar with who's on the show because y'all aren't Parker and I haven't made you watch it.
I know I need to sit down and watch it. I'm sure so much more of your brain will come into clarity to me. I'm sure
really
once
will.
I see it.
As soon as you watch it, you'll immediately understand why I like it so much.
Okay.
Everything about it. It's the characters, it's the animation, it's beautiful. Anyway, I've played around with this one because there's a couple of scenes that I think would actually lend itself really well to like a mini golf course. Mm-hmm. But I decided to settle on one of my favorite musical numbers, which is the one that Dr. Facilier, who was like the shadow man. He's the voodoo priest in the movie. Mm-hmm. It's a good fucking movie. So you're going to kind of like, just like in the movie where like Prince Naveen comes into his like little like parlor, that, you know, walks into his office essentially. Oh, here, puppies. So
yeah, that's outside. Fuck.
You're gonna walk into his like parlor or whatever. It's gonna get kind of dark, and it's gonna be the same thing. You're like multiple holes like in one room, and each one is gonna like set off something different. So in the musical number, basically like they make a deal essentially with the Shadow Man, and all of a sudden all of this crazy stuff starts happening in the room. It's all set off by like the magic of voodoo. It's really cool. So you're going to like make one hole and like the lights are going to all go down and like the black lights are going to come up. And then you make another hole and like the masks on the wall light up and start like moving around and look like they're talking. And then you're going to hit another one and the little voodoo dolls are going to pop up from behind another thing and start like banging on the drums like they do in the thing. And so basically it's like with every, kind of like at the Haunted Mansion when you walk through the queue, like when you touch different things, it makes different sounds and it all like comes into the same song, basically the same score. Mm-hmm. That's the idea I want. Every time you hit something, it adds to the score and makes it bigger and bigger and makes the whole spectacle bigger and bigger until finally you have all the lights going. You have all of like the voodoo dolls and stuff popping up and the mass dancing and like singing and being super creepy. And that'd be fucking awesome. So, and like once you get all of them, like lights come up on, or like the lights that go across the ceiling and look like fireworks, and then you get to go to the next hole.
See, okay, so two things. One, I'm visualizing. You're talking about the mask kind of coming to life. I'm visualizing that effect they've started doing where they use the projectors on the face, and it like looks totally really fucking good.
I actually work really well.
But I thought about this when you said Princess and the Frog, you know, when you were talking about which ones you were going to do. I was like, you know what? Musical numbers would actually lend themselves very well to doing stuff like this because as the ball either travels down the course or, you know, activates certain things, you know, basically it can play through the musical number. So I totally see that.
Well, it works well for dark rides. It's going to work well for something like this too. So, but yeah. I love that song too. And it has a lot of layers to it. So you could start with like the bass line and then you could start with like the horns and then you could start with the lyric. Oh, it would be so fucking cool. I want to golf this golf course. It would be like all New Orleans themed and like all of the snacks at the snack bar would be like beignets and jewels. I want that to be a thing.
Nice. Jay, what's your next one?
I was thinking Contra. The original Contra game.
Yes.
You know, it could be something easy at first, you know, just like the first level you hit it and it kind of can go down these kind of slope slanted, you know, grass covered paths. Uh-huh. You know, maybe have a little bit of, you know, the turrets or the guys out there and it'll shoot like maybe like a little gust of water, kind of try to knock the ball off the course. Or just, you know, change the direction of it.
That would be awesome, actually.
But when you get to, you know, the end of the first part of this course, or the first part of it, you actually have to kind of ramp the ball up, and how that first level had the two little guns, the guy set up at the top, and then that red dot right in the middle that you had to shoot. Yep. You basically have to ramp the ball and hit that. And once you hit that, like the... instead of how the building used to explode, it just kind of crumbles like right down the center, kind of like split, so your ball can, you know, because the course is a little slope, so it just rolls right down there. And it goes into, I believe it was the second level that was like when you're looking like kind of third person, you know, from the rear. Mm-hmm. And how you could go. And it's, you know, you're basically just down a hallway. and you'll have how you used to have those little electric fucking zappers that would come out from the side. Those will actually be water jets lined up and down.
Nice.
Fucking this hallway, so kind of push it off the course. You know, maybe like we talked about earlier, maybe send it back to the beginning. You got to do it over again.
Right. Yeah.
But no, whenever you get down there, and it kind of takes you down to another level. That's whenever we get to I can't remember the level, but where it's got the little alien-looking thing that had those big old fucking swinging arms, and you had to shoot out its arms and its head.
Yeah, that's what, level 3 at the top of the waterfall stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, whenever you get to there, you got to try to ramp it up and into its mouth, how it used to open its mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You got to try to time it and ramp it up into its mouth, as you know, it might close it. Those little arms are swinging, so you might get hit. And so it's going to be probably the most challenging course of my ones, because you got to ramp a couple times to try to hit this precise moment.
Yeah.
But once you get in there, then you're into, you know, like the last level. And you basically just pretty much at first just a straight shot. I kind of combined the last level with a couple other levels. How it used to have those little spike grabbers that would like just come down. You had to time it, move in between them. That will kind of hit it and, you know, deflect your ball from going down the right path. But then once again, you know, we come up to another ramp, that beating heart at the end. And, you know, they'll just have it'll be suspended like up in air. And they'll have those little flying monkey looking fucking things, whatever the hell they were. That would come down from the ceiling or on the ground from those little pods. Kind of look like the face huggers from Aliens.
Yep. I always thought they looked, that's exactly what I thought they looked like.
Those things.
But they'll actually kind of, you know, drop, you know, kind of sequence from the ceiling of this overhead. And you got to try to ramp it up and into the heart. Like the heart will have a little hole in there.
Right.
And once you do that, then it plays the sound effect like it, you know, when it blows up. Pretty much on every end of every level. And then you get the Contra theme.
Yep.
But that's what I kind of came up with that one.
Nice.
That one was a lot easier for me than Star Wars because I can just vividly fucking remember Contra. So
as many times as we played that as kids, yeah, I bet.
That's ingrained in me. It's my DNA, I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave the order that I've got them here, so I'm gonna keep going because I have one. Never mind. I'll get to it in a minute. Anyway, the next one I had was Voltron, and this one's going to be kind of like one of Laney's, so it's going to be like inside. And I was thinking like if it's outside, it would have like maybe a tunnel you would go into, or it could just be like inside or whatever. So, it's going to be dark, and it's going to be black. There's going to be black lights, and there's going to be the 5 lions on the course. And they're going to be like you'll be able to see their eyes, and there'll be certain parts on like maybe their claws or whatever that you can see. So you can see where you're supposed to be hitting the ball towards, but you're not 100% sure because, like I said, it's going to be dark, but it's also going to be blacklit. So you know only certain colors and stuff are going to kind of pop. But then once as you hit the ball, you know, in between the lions, like that's when like their their eyes like get really bright, and like some of the other lights and stuff come on the lion. And then I figured once you get to the end of the course, and you have all 5 of them activated, and it goes into the final hole, that's when we get this large animatronic Voltron like power up and lights and everything else, and Play pulls the flaming sword. I thought that would be fucking badass. So, you know, not a lot to it. I just thought this one's got a lot of visual stuff to it. So, but yeah, I wanted to do a Voltron one. Like I said, I kind of leaned heavy on having some kind of a large character do something or another. But yeah, I was like, I have to have Voltron do something. So that's one of the ones that I had. So, Lainey, what's your second to last one?
Okay, so my second to last one is gonna be. I'm trying to break up the Disney ones. I'm trying to be nice. So my second to last one is going to be my Jurassic Park one.
Ooh, okay. I want to hear what's going on here.
Just as much as Disney, it's fucking Jurassic Park. Love Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was kind of hard because I had a lot of different. I've seen that movie so many times. I feel like I can play the entire thing in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a hard time kind of deciding. I was like, I could do something with the raptors in the kitchen. I could do something with like at the very end with like the dinosaur and the like the skeleton and blah blah blah. There was a lot of different things that played in my head. But I decided that I really like when miniature golf courses have like water features, like we kind of talked about. I like when there's like a waterfall and stuff.
Okay.
And the scene that really lends itself to that is when Nidri's trying to get away with the dinosaur embryos.
Yes.
And he gets fucked.
Yes.
I fucking love that scene. It's a great scene because I like when Newman gets what's coming to him. So, right?
Yeah.
So I figured it'd be a really cool water feature. So you can have like the waterfall kind of coming down and like all of like Jurassic plants and everything, which I really like. And you could have the Jeep like up at the top, right? That's stuck.
Okay.
So the Jeep's kind of like lit from within. So you can't really see everything that's in there. Kind of like in the movie, you just kind of see shadows. And so like maybe, you can like hear like the wheel revving and you can like see the wheel like spinning up at the top that he's trying to get out, right? And while you're in there, you can like, I want there to be like the added sound effect of, hold on, I can never pronounce this dinosaur's name.
Dilophosaurus?
Dilophosaurus. I can say Pachycephalosaur, but I can't say Dilophosaurus. Can we talk about that? Hello, Dinoland. My God. Hey, Jesus Christ. So I want you to like hear the chirp. I really like the sound that dinosaur makes too. I like that little chirpy sound. I think it's cute.
Yeah.
So you can like hear it. And then as you're trying to like put the ball, basically you're trying to get it through like a little like hole in the waterfall. But I want like the water to basically like scooch over every now and then. So like there's like maybe like 3 holes that you're trying to make or something like that under there. And like the water will just kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Like the water is just there's some kind of a mechanism at the bottom of the waterfall where basically the opening in the water will like scoot over. And then I want random, I want random Dilophosaurus to like shoot up and like spit venom.
Oh, okay, cool.
Wouldn't that be so cool?
Yes.
And so if you can get like all 3 of the balls in, it'll set off the Jeep and the Jeep will start rocking and you'll hear Newman scream. Wouldn't that be so great? Doesn't everybody want to do that?
That would be pretty awesome, actually.
So that's my Jurassic Park themed one.
Can I tell you where I either thought maybe you were going with this or how at least I would have gone with it?
Probably with the T-Rex or the Raptors because those are my jam.
With the T-Rex, I would have done at the beginning of the hole, I would have had Grant and the kids and you have to put down the lane and you have was it not the Packies running across or whatever, and of course right by the hole is where the T-Rex comes out and grabs the one. So
yes, good. That would have been really good. Again, a Jurassic Park themed golf course would be.
You could do a whole fucking like you said, you could do a whole fucking course just Jurassic Park.
Go through the Institute. That would be easy. That would be so good. I would totally ride that.
That would be awesome.
Or ride that. I would totally do that. I'm thinking of Dinosaur, which is my favorite thing to ride at Disney World, and I miss it. You
would sign up and just like walk around with the ball and just drop it so it activates the things. You're not even playing.
Do the thing. Do the thing. I want to hear the dinosaurs. Let's do this.
Hell yeah. Jay, what's your second to last one?
I think I would do the Mario Kart.
Hell yeah.
Okay, yes. I want to hear what you're going to do with this one.
Rainbow Road. Rainbow
Road is on there, definitely. You can't do anything Mario Kart without Rainbow Road.
Hell no, yeah.
But at the beginning, I would actually have, like, right in front of where you're starting the putt from, a little pad. And I think you know where I'm going with this. but you have to time it just right. And if you putt your ball at the right moment, that thing spins up real quick and will shoot your ball even faster.
Oh, nice. I like it.
So it's like one of the charging pads for taking off.
Yes.
Or, like whenever you charge it just right and you take off at the beginning of the race.
Yeah.
And occasionally those will be around this golf course, just around some turns, maybe on some straights. But the thing is, you don't know when it's kind of, when you go into a corner, it is a little slanted up, just like a racetrack. Well, if you hit those at the wrong time, it's going to shoot your ball right off the course.
Yes.
Exactly, yes.
So, but no, I kind of envisioned I think it's on one of the newer, because I don't really remember it on the older ones, but the Excite Bike track.
Yeah, it's on the newest one. It's on 8. And it may be on some of the other ones, but yeah, it's definitely on 8.
But basically, where you just, because I love Excite Bike, so you just fly, over some of these ramps, and this part's pretty generic. It's pretty much straight down the line. To get to the curve. Well, when you get to the curve, like it'd be just in the Excite Bike track, it goes and it twists down, and then you come onto the Rainbow Road. Which on both sides, on this part, it is you got to time it right. It is dished out a little bit, but you got to time the speed and your power, just right, so it don't go off of the one side, but it don't go too slow to where it'll just slide off the other. You got to have a nice little pitch to it, and it's just a pretty decently length twist to it. But when you get down to the bottom, there's another one of those charging pads. I thought about maybe putting a couple there right in a row to really get some speed. And you got to time your hit just right, so you hit those and it launches it into one of the loop-de-loops. So you got to make sure you carry enough speed to get all around it, and then it just shoots it forward. But right before you get ready to cross, you'll see the big old Mario Kart, across the finish line area. But then all of a sudden it starts shooting intermittent blue shells.
Nice. I knew you were going to throw a blue shell in there somewhere.
It just starts shooting blue shells, across. So, your ball might get hit and knocked off the course. You got to, and it kind of, I envision this, we have a lot of water-based hole ideas. You just wash it right back to the beginning of the course. And then you got to start all over, do the shit all over again. But I had thought about in different areas, maybe just throwing out. It obviously they wouldn't be slick or anything like that, because then that'd ruin the course for people behind it. But just maybe shooting out like banana peels or other shells or
just random things to try to knock the ball off.
Yeah, just knock the ball, get in your way. I even thought about in some areas like shooting like little Mario Karts across, maybe Mario, Luigi, Bowser.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Just to kind of just knock your ball, all to hell if you get shot across at the right time. But whenever, of course, whenever it goes through the cross finish line with Mario Kart, maybe shoot up a little fireworks, the light, or the star on the top just lights up, and, you get the normal, victory music with Mario Kart.
Yep. Maybe have a big the big trophy like spinning or whatever, so maybe get on that last screen. Yeah,
like maybe right there at the very end of it before you get ready to start going into the last holes.
Yeah.
But that's what I came up with on short notice, but I actually thought about, I was like, damn, I really want to actually think that through, and really I thought about even sitting there as I was thinking this, I bet you I could probably make almost an 18-hole, at least a mini, like a 9-hole golf course with Mario Kart themed tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a ton of tracks you could pull from for inspiration. Oh. So, well, what's funny is my last the last hole that I came up with is video game based, is in the Mario realm, and I actually went with Super Mario Brothers 3. I picked it to basically look, because I was like, okay, this is gonna be the last hole. I'm gonna make it look like World 8. So on this one, it's gonna be very dark, and it's gonna have like all surrounding it and everything. It's gonna have like the tanks and like the airships, and there'll be fire and stuff. and at the very end, it's gonna have like it's gonna look kind of like the back wall of the castle, and you have Mario on one side. And if you remember when you fought Mario in Super Mario Brothers 3, Bowser was like jumping up in the air and he kept coming down on the bricks, breaking him out before you finally broke enough of them that he fell through. So I was gonna have a big Bowser like on a mechanical arm, and he's just gonna randomly keep dropping down on the course, basically keeping you from hitting it into the hole. And then once you do finally get it in the hole, it'll cause the animatronic Bowser to like kind of go up and around and like drop down, out of sight. And then you can see the little Mario move across, and then there'll be Princess, and you'll have maybe the little bubble comes up, with the sorry Mario, but our princess is in another castle. Just kidding. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I did mine on the last level of Super Mario Brothers 3.
Nice.
All right, Lainey, what's your last one?
So my last one is my Little Mermaid themed one.
Okay.
So
can I assume there's going to be water on this course?
Of course, it's gonna be water. Of course. So this is gonna be like your final last hole that you get to on like the miniature golf course. Mm-hmm. As we said, musical numbers really lend themselves to this kind of shit. So I wanted to Under the Sea because that, of course. Well, think about how much movement is in that scene.
Right.
You do a lot with it. So I want there to be so it looks kind of like the grotto. Well, not the grotto. It's not a grotto, but it kind of looks like the clearing that the whole thing takes place in. Like if you ever ride, there's a lot of rock work and stuff that I think would work really well. Mm-hmm. You have to try to shoot the ball into 5 or 6 different spots, right? And every time you shoot the ball, it's going to kind of come up. You want it to kind of come up and go around and make it into the hole. And every time you do it, it's going to set off a different animal because they have the newt plays the flute, the pace plays the bass, the carp plays the harp, the blow plays the whole thing. So every time you're trying to set off all this different animal, all the different fish and everything, and you have Sebastian in the middle, kind of sitting at the bottom. And so and as your ball goes past different things, there's little starfish that will turn, and there's these really cute little seahorses that are in that movie that I love, and I want to shoot water across the course to try to knock the ball off course.
Okay.
Right? And so if you get everything in there, at the end, all of the music will start playing, and Sebastian will come up with his maestro baton and finish off the whole thing.
Nice.
I thought that would be cute.
I want it so that if the ball gets knocked off the course and you have to start at the beginning, literally, the music's starting to, it's starting to ramp up or whatever. But when your ball goes off the course, it's just
yes.
Everything just shuts down. Music completely shuts down. You got to start over.
Yes. You don't get that. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
I'm into it.
All right, Jay, what is your last, what is your last hole for the evening?
I had thought about this, and it didn't fall into any category that you actually hung on here.
Okay.
I actually thought of an epically geeky golf hole.
Okay.
Now, it's themed. I didn't get everybody in the podcast on there because I was having to do this off the top of my head. But essentially, once you hit the first little obstacle you'd come up to would be you, being the leader of the podcast, so to say. But whenever you try to get it to go around this little curve, there's a little model figure of you with your Ghostbusters outfit on, your proton pack, and it would actually shoot out a little water burst of fucking yellow or orange colored fucking liquid the ball like a proton stream.
Right.
So you got to try to get past that, or it'll knock it off the side. If you manage to get through that, you just chuck the ball. There'll be a little miniature Rudy that would pop up, out of the hole, but it's never quite tall enough to reach the ball to really do anything with it. It just go, so high up. Then whenever we get a little closer to the hole, I was trying to think of what Lewis could actually be. I know he's big into running. He likes soccer, so I thought about just having his little figure. Like whenever you chuck it in that area, you got to actually hit it over there. He comes up and like kicks the ball like a soccer ball.
Okay.
But then I kind of thought, has Latino heritage. That might sound a little racist. So I was like, fuck it. He likes soccer. And then whenever you get ready to hit, it looks like a little archway that you got to knock it through. It's not much bigger than the actual, ball itself, but you got to knock it through there. And that would be Psy. And it looked like he'd be standing above it, and then all of a sudden he'd just kind of drop down and sit on there, like sit on the ball to try to block the whole, or, drunk stumbling down. And every time they sit down, Scotland, just every single time. And it just do that randomly, so you got to shoot it through there.
God damn it.
Then once you hit it through there, you'd actually try to ramp it into this little ramp, and it'd take it onto a moose. Where Ray and Chris are sitting there.
Yeah!
It kind of knocks it into like a little basket, takes it and walks it to the end of this thing, drops it down in there. And I was trying to think of a way to factor me in there. And that was actually hard. I thought about, because you guys think I'm fucking crazy.
Well.
Just, maybe me just like, kind of like the Hulk smash thing, just like, nailing this ball into the fucking hole.
Right.
But that's the only thing I could come up with. I couldn't really think of a good one for myself. That's where it's lacking right at the very end. I had actually thought about putting Lainey in there, like kind of like in a Disney princess thing. And whenever you hit it, she kind of did something like that. Had her hands up in the air and like sparkles came out the top. Like Disney princess thing.
Oh God. Can I be like Fantasia Mickey and like fucking sparks like shoot out of my fucking fingers? Because
that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, right there. If you could get it down there and you hit it and then boom, just Lainey shooting out fucking sparks out the top of her hand, dressed up like Fantasia's Mickey.
I'm super into that.
Hell yeah.
I'm so into that.
That's what the mystery one was.
I was wondering what you said mystery when I was like, oh Lord, he's gonna pick something really weird or something. No, that's awesome, dude.
I had thought about that one, and I was like, how am I going to incorporate, the main people? And I like really tried. But then I was like, I actually started thinking of a Edgar Wright threesome fucking golf course with Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and at World's End.
Oh, hell yeah.
And as you get farther in the course, it goes through the movie scenes.
Exactly,
Shaun of the Dead, then Hot Fuzz, and then at World's End. And whenever you hit the ball in there, that's when the nuclear explosion happened at the end.
Hell yeah, man. That'd be awesome.
So I was kind of piecing that together. I was like, damn, man. But it's like, I'll go with the Epically Geeky one. I know it's not in the cards as far as what we were supposed to do, but like I really like that idea.
We'll allow it. Good pull, man. Good pull. Well, that's it. That's our 18 holes. So I had fun doing this. I thought this was a fun activity to do. So who knows? We may come back and revisit it another time. But good holes. I like some of the ideas, especially I like the Star Wars ideas. Those
Except
were
mine,
awesome.
Because mine was terrible.
No, it was not. Stop.
Out of all the holes, that was my weakest one. Because it was just like literally, I did all this on lunch today, and I could just not pull anything out of my head. I had thought about doing a Last Jedi one because that was the most recent one, and that's the one I remember seeing the most, just because it's so fresh in my head. But then I was like, fuck, I'm not really recalling a lot of it either. I mean, so I was like, I better just stick with.
I was like, what would you do from that? And part of me thinks it's either going to be something to do with the salt speeders, or doing something or another that causes the ship to go light speed and blow apart the other one or something. That would
what
be
I actually thought about with the salt speeders, how the salt turns red at the end of the movie. Whenever they go over it, have like maybe it be like at the beginning of the course, have it be like an LED screen, so when your ball goes over it, it looks like it's just cutting a path and it's turning red. I had kind of thought about that. I thought about one part, you just hit it, and it like twists down the mountain where he's at, fucking being a recluse. And
oh yeah, that would be good too.
That would be cool.
Then I was trying to think, and then I thought maybe at the very end, whenever you actually like make your hole, like it has like a 3D image or an image of Luke, and then it just fades away.
You could have a semi-life-size Luke Skywalker at the very end, and somehow or another the ball drops into his hand, and like it's not even a last hole. It's literally like, because like a lot of the miniature golf courses that I would go to, like the last hole, most of them had just like a, it had a cup basically, and you could reach in and grab the ball and move on to the next one. But the last one like specifically went like really fall down and fall down like a tube or whatever, so that you couldn't just keep playing. And on this one, literally, you'll have a water feature, and you'll have this semi life size Luke, and the ball drops on his hand, and he literally just kind of goes and chucks it over his shoulder, and it like goes in the water. And like, well, we're done.
That would have been awesome. That was much better than my idea. And probably a lot cheaper to do than trying to do some kind of fading fucking image. But
I just like this image of Luke Skywalker taking your ball and chucking it over his shoulder. Like, fuck that.
Exactly.
But there's one thing I was sitting there thinking of this, and it made me think of a meme I saw the other day. And it's like, what women think guys are doing when they're laying in bed. And he's like, I bet she's thinking about women. And then he's like, whenever Luke faded away in the movie, why did his robot hand fade as well?
I saw that one too. I thought that was funny.
I was like, God damn it, that fucked with me the rest of the day.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, oh, I don't need to think about shit like that. So
I got too much other shit going on.
Exactly. Well, that is our show for the week, ladies and gentlemen. Cyrus actually just joined us in the chat room. I told him he missed out. He's gonna have to go back and listen to this episode, especially the last hole. So let's move on into our picks and pans for the week. Would anyone like to go first?
I'll go.
All right, what you got?
So, like I needed a new podcast to listen to, but I started listening to a new podcast.
Okay.
So on the last episode, I talked about how much I have enjoyed this new season of Queer Eye.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, because I have enjoyed it so much, I started following Jonathan Van Ness, who is the grooming guide on Queer Eye. I started following him on Instagram, and I found out he has a podcast. Go figure.
Right.
It's really, really good. It's called Getting Curious with Jonathan Van Ness, and it's literally like short little 30-minute shows where he speaks to some kind of an expert in some field about literally any topic he finds interesting. He did one on the Armenian genocide. He did one on Eastern medicine. He did one on psychedelic drugs. He did one on chronic pain and dealing with chronic pain. He did one with Anthony, who was also on the show, about what it was like to grow up as an immigrant in a different country. Like, so really, really interesting, like snippets of just really important things that are going on, and just like things that I know I wonder about, like, and things that you would have never thought about. As somebody who really does just like to learn new pieces of random information, I have really enjoyed it because it's really accessible, and he's so funny, and he asks really in-depth questions, and the people that he gets on there are very like, I like it because you don't listen to it and go, oh my God, this person totally doesn't get like his whole like personality or anything. Like, you can tell that he has chatted with them beforehand. He has talked to them beforehand. He has like briefed them on like what he wants to talk about. It's very,
well, that's good.
It feels very professional, but it feels very relaxed at the same time. So it's very approachable. It's a very approachable way to learn more about just random different subjects. It's really, really good. I listened to one the other day where he was talking to this girl that he actually met because he was doing her hair. She was a client of his, and they were talking one day, and he was like, yeah, I found out that he fucking studied pirates in college. And that was what the episode was about, was Atlantic pirates. And they go into this whole thing. It was amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
it's really interesting. So I highly recommend it. It's Getting Curious with Jonathan Van Ness. He's so funny. I love him so much. So really, really good. Everything okay over there?
Yeah, I heard it too.
I hear it too.
I hear it too. Jay, do you have a pick or pan for the week?
I haven't got to do or see anything that was new for a while.
I'm on our own podcast.
I finally got to sit down and watch it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what'd you think?
That was a lot better than I thought. I didn't really like the first, the original one with Tim Curry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think clowns are scary.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I was actually watching it, with all the lights off on a rainy day here, and trying to bring up the ambiance, and I could see where people thought it was scary, especially if you jump easy or you're afraid of clowns.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get any of those like moments, but I typically don't. But I thought the kids in it were awesome.
Yes.
I thought they did a great fucking job. It was actually that one kid was pretty fucking funny. I can't remember his name, the smart ass.
Yes.
But he was pretty damn funny. Pennywise was, pretty fucking creepy. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to whenever they do the sequel. I'll probably actually go watch that in the theaters this time. Because I like that. And the only other thing that I've really watched here recently was The Foreigner with Jackie Chan, which has been out for a while,
mm-hmm.
where his daughter gets killed by a bomb, and he goes after Pierce Brosnan. That's like in the Irish government. That was really good. And a movie called, if you like action movies and just kind of, just turn off your brain and watch some kick-ass shit, a movie called Accident Man. It's got Scott Adkins in it, which a lot of people don't know, but he's a martial artist, does a lot of fucking movies, action movies. He was in Expendables 2. He's actually did some small parts, like in a couple of the Jason Bourne movies and shit like that. But no, he's an actual badass. And this movie was just kind of not a take yourself serious, but I guess an action movie. And it had Ray Park in there. It had Michael J. White in there, Ray Stevenson. So it had some really good actors. And it was just fun to watch.
Cool. No, I hadn't heard of it.
Now, most people haven't. But I really like his movies, and I'm really into fighting, a lot of fighting and martial arts movies, always have been. So I saw this, I picked it up at Redbox and accidentally forgot to take it back because I got so preoccupied with everything else. So now I own it, but which happens occasionally with myself. I mean, I got a stack of like 20 movies from Redbox now, but yeah, it was actually pretty good, for being like, I guess, a straight to DVD B movie type thing. It's
mm-hmm.
pretty good.
Cool. Actually, I've got 2 picks this week, and then kind of another side note thing. My first one is Ready Player One. I went and saw it a second time. The first time I saw it, I originally kind of came out of the theater thinking, well, it's not the book. It's not as good as the book, but it's definitely enjoyable. But at first I kind of compared it to like expecting pizza and getting like pizza chips. But it's actually more, the more I think about it, it's more like, to me, it's like the difference between tacos and taco salad. The core items are still there. It's a different presentation. It has its own unique flavor. Yes, thank you. But yes, no, if you haven't seen Ready Player One and you love 80s nostalgia, it does not lean as heavy on the music as it does in the book. That being said, there's a lot more video game reference stuff in there. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun to own it. I really can't wait to own it, to literally start like pausing it and going through scene by scene, because it is chocked full of stuff. Like, I noticed something that I don't even think I read about. There's a scene where they're pulling out a special item, and it looks, the box that it's in looks a lot like a box that you might find a Mugwai in. Like, it's that fucking detailed. So yeah. So Ready Player One is definitely a pick. The other pick I have is Minecraft. My boys have been playing Minecraft. We broke down and bought it on the Xbox, and I know that the update is coming out for the Wii here, hopefully fairly soon. They kind of keep pushing it back, but my boys were they were taking turns playing it on the TV while the other one was on an iPad, and I was on an iPad, and we were all able to play on the same game at the same time. And that was a fucking awesome experience, being able to play, on a console with, iPads and being able to play the same game all at the same time. I really hope we start seeing more games be able to let you do stuff like that. So, and then the final note is you won't be able to watch it live because they don't record it live and broadcast it, but I'm going to get to fulfill a little bit of a I don't know if a lifetime goal, but definitely creative goal this coming week. I'm actually going to be a guest on another podcast, the Pop Culture Retrofit Podcast. Mm-hmm. It's funny, they take something and then they completely turn it into something different. Sometimes it's really weird, like they retrofit Die Hard and made it more accessible for cats. Just weird stuff. And so they were like, well, we've had your name on the guest list. We're just not quite sure what to do. We were thinking something Ghostbusters wise. So I threw out a bunch of different ideas that I had. And I'm, of course, like, this is going to be the one they pick. And sure enough, that's the one they picked. So I can't say what it is right now. I don't want to give anything away for that. But be listening. If you're not listening to if you're not listening to the Pop Culture Retrofit Podcast, listen to it. It is really, really funny. The guys on there are really awesome. But yeah, so I'm going to be a guest on that. I think it'll probably come out in the next week or so. I'll definitely be posting and stuff about it whenever it does drop. So yeah, I'm actually going to be a guest on someone else's podcast, which is actually really cool. This is something I've been wanting to do for quite a while. So
do I get to take any kind of credit?
I will definitely mention your name because you were definitely the one that got me started listening to those guys. So
I'm just giving you shit, but
no, I'm hoping this is, in all legitimacy, I really hope this is kind of a stepping stone, because I would really like to be a guest on Nerd Lunch as well. So we shall see. That is it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. If you would, please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Music, wherever it is you listen to the show. We do record the show live usually Saturday night. We had to move it to Friday night this week. On YouTube, you can watch it live, jump in the chat room, and comment. You can find us at Epically Geeky on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and of course at epicallygeeky.com. Lainey, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at it's a Lainey Bird. And sorry. And you can also find me over on Epic Rhythm and Brews. We're hoping to get a new episode recorded this week. So hopefully we'll have that out to you guys really, really soon.
Awesome. Jay, where can we find you online?
It's 1JRed on Instagram. And that's pretty much it anymore, really. I haven't done the Twitter. I haven't done that a little bit. I've been trying to get back into it a little bit. But that would be Epically JRed, I believe. And yeah, that's it.
I kind of like calling it Quitter. That's actually kind of awesome. And as always, you can find my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or Quitter as we're calling it now. For everyone on the site, have a good night.